well as the occasion. Both have played their part. Some people kind of spilled out, but that's okay. Still enough to kind of for me to be motivated to try and sound funny at times as well. But nonetheless, thank you so much for inviting me here. And just a bit of correction, I'm not the head of strategy for Times of India, otherwise I would have been speaking tomorrow at Hyatt. I head strategy for a division of Times of India called Worldwide Media, which is basically in the entertainment and lifestyle space, and we are the leading lifestyle and entertainment content publishers in the country, and hopefully will be the largest entertainment and lifestyle company within a very few number of years. So the topic that I actually chose to speak on, and because primarily we are a content company, is social ready content, which is a great headline, makes a lot of sense. But there's also a subhead to it: is your content social enough? Right? So there's a difference between what we think we are creating and between how it's been perceived by user. So what we'll do is we'll deep dive a little bit into how content needs to be user first, and what are the how we need to build our lives around it. Quick question: how many of you actually create content? So maybe create videos, write stuff. How many of you are content creators here? Sahib, you're not. So okay, so they're all sitting behind. Not a good thing, because this is a lot to do with content creators. How many of you are content marketers? So basically you understand and influence people to create good content. It's the same set of people raising their hands up. So great. Nonetheless, so what exactly do the rest of you do? No, I'm sorry, I'm just social media experts, right? Okay, alright. While I've compiled a presentation, you can't call it a presentation, it's really bad looking. It's basically, I've put my notes on a black screen, so please bear with me. So you can take pictures basically, and you can go back and refer to the notes. I'll leave the visualization to you. I'd like to give credit to Mr. Juan Senior. He's a very, he's a big global influencer, very dear colleague, visiting faculty at Oxford University, and he works for a company called Innovation Media Consulting. So a lot of data points, global examples are actually his compilations, and I would be happy to kind of reflect on what he's been doing over the number of years. So content on social today is all about a complete mind shift. And why I'm probably talking here, even though I'm not a social media expert, I don't have hands-on experience on social tools and things that trend and how to make things viral and so on and so forth. But why I chose this topic and why I want to speak about it is because I have lived through content evolution through the companies or the publishing companies that I've worked with. I have seen how books were being sold and consumed. I've seen how newspapers, magazines, websites, and now a lot of things on social, and hopefully very soon we'll have stuff like wearables and virtual reality, VR devices and everything, messenger bots. I mean, these are things that are happening right now, correct? So I'm kind of living through this evolution, although I'm not very, very old. I'm just kind of successful, so. All right. How this mind shift has changed is because people today demand info. A number of years back, what was content on demand? Subscribing to the newspaper, picking up an issue of a magazine. Right. That was what all that you could have probably demanded, right? And maybe switching on your television in the evening, but that was content stream being given to you. That was not content on demand. So that is a big mind shift change that has happened here. And in turn, when you demand info, you receive a service. Okay, so that's the era that we are actually living in, and we'll deep dive into that a little bit. Social content, hence, is an evolution of requests, demands, and expectations. So request is a little bit of a weak word. It's more to do with demand and expectations. So this is a post that I created about 4 days back about me speaking today, and I've never got so many likes. I've never got more than 20 likes, but here I got some 322 reactions, likes, hearts, everything. And the sole reason for this was, the keyword was expectation. Some people who really liked this, who actually genuinely liked it, is because they were expecting this from me, right? That he'll go to a conference and speak. Some people liked it because they were absolutely not expecting this out of me. They thought, hey, yaar, he's speaking on a social media, he's great, yaar, I like it. So it's not just about the expectation pe khare utarna ya khada utarna, I don't know what. It's also about meeting things beyond people's expectations. And that's where a user-first strategy comes into place. What are users looking for? They're now looking for short, quick, concise, and easily digested content. And every time that I speak to probably my editorial teams or other young people who are creating content, who are marketing content, make your content short, quick, concise, and really digestible. While I come from a traditional company which does fantastic long-form journalism, 800 words articles, 2,000 pages of reports in my previous companies, which people were paying for. This example is something that I use. Who do you want to be? And I ask them. You want to be somebody like the McDonald's, who are omnipresent, you're present everywhere. You basically cater to somebody's downtime when they just quickly want to grab a snack. Or you want to be a very fine dine restaurant where probably consumers go once or twice, in a month. So the question is, who do you want to be? And why I would ideally like to be in this space is because simple. I mean, this makes a lot more money than a fine dine restaurant sitting nicely at one place. Yeah, once you build your audience here, then maybe you can look at a paywall where people will pay you for fine dine content, right? So that's an example that I keep choosing, and I thought it was interesting to share with you guys. McDonald's, by the way, is one of the largest consumer companies in the world. I think some years back, I don't know if Amazon must have taken them or Apple must have taken overtaken them, but McDonald's at one point of time was the largest consumer company in the world, correct? And that's where we also want to aspire to be. So there are three basic new rules of the game, and that's where a lot of text also starts, so you can actually take pictures. Speed and sass versus deliberation and depth. While long-form journalism, long-form textual content, long videos, 30-minute videos and everything requires a lot of deliberation, a lot of thought process, a lot of being precise versus being concise, and a lot of depth. It's the age of speed that we are living in. And just at our company conference a few months back, or I think a couple of months back, we were basically revamping the vision of our company. And we said, what are the values that our company needs to be based on, being a content company? And the first thing that everybody agreed upon was speed and agility. So today is a fast-paced world, and speed is something that is extremely important. Deadlines must be constant and consistent. Don't be a multi-billionaire author and say, you know what, I'll release this book 2 months from now. I'll take 2 more months because I'm facing a writer's block. You can't afford to do that, right? Because we are in the space where we need to feed hungry audiences all the time. And stories, something I addressed, stories need to be as concise as possible. So these are the three golden rules that we follow when we create content. Some of the rules will further be discussed here. Great, we follow these rules, we create that content, but how do we actually build the social quotient of that content? How do we ensure that that's actually, the content is social enough, or the content is social ready content? Write about what everyone's talking about and reap social media benefits. Correct? Now, if you're actually talking about sports, that doesn't mean you start talking about politics because everybody is talking about a trending topic. But within your ecosystem, talk about what everyone's talking about. Have a point of view over there. Make titles short. A traditional company like BBC now uses 5 or 6 words as their title or their headline. Front load your content. Get to the point immediately. Break up textual content into short, simple paragraphs and create galleries for images. And that's exactly what I'm doing in my PPT also. So yeah, I have a point why I made something like this. Incorporate bullet points. See, that's what I did again. It's all coming to me right now. I'm sorry, this is not thought of. Bold and italicize important words and phrases. I've not done that, but I think I've done that in some of the slides. And avoid complex sentence structure. You know, great content creators, let me rephrase that. Great creative minds ideally are not necessarily great content creators. So if you have some creative dude working for you, doesn't mean that that guy knows the do's and don'ts. So there's a chance that the problem with a lot of content creators in our generation is that they are actually very smart, and that's the problem. Because then you're not catering to the mass, you're catering to your thought process, and that's where a lot of problems happen. And I'll show you a couple of examples between what New York Times did and what Forbes did. Use descriptive subheadings, have a next step or call to action in each article. So this is also marketing, right? Are we aware of the AIDA rules of marketing, or is that too old now?
Too old.
Yeah? Do you know about AIDA? Okay, so AIDA is attention, interest, desire, action. Your headline is what grabs the attention. Your subhead is what generates interest. Your content piece is what actually should generate the desire to read more. And your next article or your related article or your trending articles is what the call to action should be. Or it could be anything. You want to redirect them to some other page or anything. Always link things that you talk about, because you're a part of an ecosystem. So don't isolate yourself from the larger things that you're talking about. Use provocative images. Please don't get me wrong. I mean, provocative images doesn't mean XYZ, but images need to be very powerful. Sometimes images tell story themselves. Show most popular, not related stories, and this is where a lot of us go wrong. We show related topics. Ranveer Singh is dancing like a monkey somewhere. Doesn't mean that all your related stories are about Ranveer Singh. I might be more interested in monkeys than Ranveer Singh, right? So, doesn't mean I want to read more about Ranveer Singh, but people have a tendency to read what others are reading. Must be good, if X number of people have read that. So always make sure that you show more popular than related stories. Then there was this interesting concept developed by Corey Bergman. She's the co-founder of Breaking News, which is now an NBC-owned company. And she says it's time saved versus time spent. So while we constantly talk about time spent as a metric, even when we are selling to advertisers, even when we are measuring our own KPIs, she said savings brings delight, whether it's money or it's time, right? Anything that you save brings in delight. And the more delighted the users are, the more frequently they'll actually return and keep coming back and keep reading your content. So actually, time saved becomes a lot of time spent on your content, because you are actually then giving them more and more. The more savings that you generate, the more that they'll invest, right? The same funda with banking or insurance, or it's the same funda with content as well. Then the question is, and we are all in an age where content storytelling has really evolved into creating a lot of videos, and though I'm a firm believer that videos are going to really, really rule the scene, I do believe that textual content or pictorial content, static content has its own presence, because many a times I don't want to watch a video, but I just want to read the important parts. But are we creating good video today? Maybe we are, but before we judge ourselves that we are creating good video, I want you guys to think of certain questions that we need to ask ourselves. Are we able to find the appropriate video angle to a story? It starts with a storytelling thought. It starts with a thought. You want to share a story, but do you have the right video angle to it? Do you have all the right parameters to create that video? Have we developed styles of video content unique to our organization? Is there something that differentiates between an AIB or a TVF? Yes, there is. And I think both these entities have kind of got that right. Are we actively experimenting with new forms of video storytelling? Have we increased our available video content through, maybe partnerships or tying up with aggregators which can create good video content that we can distribute? Or are we advancing, and this is a very important point, are we advancing your poor imitations of TV video conventions? When you think of video, you are actually you've been brought up in an era where we consumed a lot of television content, and social video content cannot be an imitation, and a lot of people are actually getting that right. So again, this is not questioning what's happening now, these are questions that you need to ask yourself before you judge yourself. And do we build video content or versions of it that is now device optimized? Right? That's also something very, very important. So we all create videos, but video length absolutely matters. Sorry, maybe I'm rushing through because I've been given a mandate because of Visarjan, and I really want to get back home in time as well. Completion rates drop with length, and we've all seen that with ourselves as well. Maybe whatever the reason, it could be your bandwidth, but hopefully, with Jio coming in, that is all going to change. More than 80% of the viewers will finish a 30-second video. So that's a golden rule that we also follow. We try to keep things which are 30 seconds. Could be a fashion shoot, could be a behind the scene with a celebrity. We do a lot of celebrity content, and I'll come to that. But the rate actually drops to 65% when it's a 2-minute video. Right? So even 2-minute video is considered to be snacky, but only 65 out of 100 people are actually consuming that fully. And so on and so forth, it keeps going down. So 5 to 10 minutes, 55%, 10 to 20 minutes, 48. So this is where the demarcation with television content lies. you ideally